Welcome home, brave heroes. I'm Ash, this is Ash Quest, and while I do not generally consider this to be a Warhammer channel, I guess it could be considered somewhat of a sort of Warhammer adjacent, sort of if I open my blinds and peek out my window at the neighbors across the street, there are some Warhammer channels over there. If I walk down the sidewalk and look at the block catty-cornered across from the park, I can see a house party going on. That's a Warhammer channel. You get the idea. There are sometimes some things that I do want to report on or show a little bit of spotlight on having to do with the Warhammer general universe. Sometimes that comes in the form of unboxing games, and sometimes that comes in the form of playing games made by Games Workshop, because after all, a lot of the games that I do play are Games Workshop. However, this time, I wanted to showcase something that has kind of a limited time attached to it. A bit of FOMO, if you will. And I usually don't applaud Games Workshop for their FOMO tactics or pricing points, but this is something that I thought a lot of you might appreciate regardless, and that is Warhammer The Old World made-to-order miniatures. Warhammer The Old World is a resurgence of Games Workshop taking a look at the old world of the classic Warhammer fantasy, such as what was found in the Fantasy Battle lines or Warhammer Quest lines of products. And we know that they are revisiting using a lot of these concepts for contemporary wargaming. In a way, they are seeing if it will print money again. And I think that this is going to prove to be the case. It's definitely going to print some money for them. One of the components of this, one of the business models, seems to be this made to order. And we're going to click on that and see exactly what this is comprised of. This is something that I've heard about first from Seek Hashem, so thanks to Seek for pointing this out, and then in a couple of other places thereafter. But this is basically reprinting specific sculpts that actually were made around the 30 years ago mark now for Warhammer Quest, Warhammer Fantasy Battles. These are sculpts that are out of print. They are not produced anymore, and these are actually sculpts that are being made to order. We have until February 5th to place orders for the specific sculpts here on this page, and we don't have access to like everything, or I want to say even 1% of the entire classic Warhammer / Games Workshop Greater Fantasy catalog, but we do have access to what is here, and I think that the trend is probably looking like they're going to continue to introduce new made-to-order sculpts in this range that will eventually allow people to collect this over again. But they'll be within these limited time windows, so this will be something to follow if you are interested in Warhammer The Old World, Warhammer Fantasy Battles, Warhammer Quest, because a lot of these sculpts were shared amongst these different lines. So let's take a look and see what they've got right now that's available for a made to order and what the price points are. We have Tomb Kings Battle Standard Bearer on foot and mounted. This is $45 USD. Here they are, the Tomb Kings. I love the skeletal steed. I love the standards that they are bearing. I actually really love the concept of the skeletal horse. I wish that there were more wide open places on the HeroQuest board and more large tiles that went down whenever we're playing Warhammer Quest so that we could get more monsters mounted on horses and larger monsters like that. It's just not practical to ride a skeleton horse through the narrow corridors of a maze-like dungeon. But I could definitely see this being a fitting monster. The sculpt is the 90s aesthetic. It is the lovely Citadel sculpt that brought us into this hobby and made us love the look and the feel of Warhammer. Now, don't mind me if I sound like I'm foolishly speaking on behalf of Warhammer fans. I'm not an original Warhammer player. I've never played a game of Warhammer in my life. I just have played Warhammer Quest and a great large amount of Games Workshop Warhammer adjacent board games. $45 USD is the price for just these two sculpts together, and that's before shipping, and shipping seems to be about $10 for the US, and free shipping I think for orders over $60 USD. However, there are other storefronts, other countries you can select from up here in the top. I'm not going to go through them all, but I suppose I will go ahead and choose. Why did you choose Canada? Let's choose UK and see what we have here. £27.50. £27.50. Nice. Never mind, I'd have to create an account in order to see what the shipping would be like to somewhere in the UK. And I'd also need a legitimate UK address to do that, so I'm not going to do that. But $45 USD, probably the equivalent in your native currency. Check that out. We have more. We have a lot more options here. The Leash Priest on foot and mounted. These guys look really, really cool. Same horse sculpt looks like, but way different. Tomb King sculpts. And again, pretty sure these guys were available with their own product numbers way back in the 90s. Totally out of print now. If you look for them, you're going to find them on eBay, and that's not always going to be a guarantee, but the prices are definitely going to be in the triple digits. The Tomb King with sword and shield, $15 USD. While I consider this to be a pretty high price for a miniature, at least a brand new, like a contemporary miniature, I totally get why the pricing point is here for these. And I'm not a Games Workshop shill by any means, but this is still way better than paying $150 for the classic Tomb King with sword and shield. Now, for those of you wondering, these figurines come unpainted. They are painted beautifully in these photographs, but they do come unpainted and they come unassembled. They are made of metal and they do have plastic components such as the bases. I think a lot of them that come with shields come with metal and or plastic shields, but it may depend on which of the sculpts that you're actually buying. $15 for this miniature. I could see it if I really, really needed to have a Tomb King with sword and shield added to my army. A Tomb King with great weapon, $15 USD. And these will go great with the classic Hero Quest game and used as homebrew figurines for your classic Hero Quest. I already do a lot of that. I've purchased the FT Toy Box series from Games Workshop in order to use those figurines with my Hero Quest, my classic game system. But it's time to look at the main reason that I am making this video, and that is this specific set right here, Bretonnian Paladins with sword and shield. This set here contains a sculpt of the knight, the Bretonnian knight or paladin, that was originally used as a sculpt for a Warhammer Quest character expansion. For $32 USD, you can have both of these sculpts. And again, this is available on a made-to-order basis until 8 a.m. GMT on Monday, the 5th of February, 2024. I suppose there are some people who will buy several of these, and then after the due date closes, or perhaps sometime after, they will begin listing them on eBay at a ridiculous markup. I don't hate the player. I do hate the game. Ugh. This particular kit contains 4 metal components, 4 plastic components, and 2 X Citadel 25mm square bases. The miniatures are supplied unpainted and require assembly. We recommend using Citadel color paints because of course they would, why wouldn't they? It is supplied with 2 metal shields detailed with fine Bretonnian heraldry, as well as 4 plastic shields of different shapes to allow you to further customize your miniatures. So the $32 here is actually pretty reasonable when you consider that you're getting both of these miniatures, so it ends up being $16 USD a piece before shipping. But I want to look at eBay for just a moment here. Please carefully consider the miniature on the right, the upright sword, the wings on the helmet, and the angry griffin, whatever this is, manticore, lion, whatever this creature is, ridiculous face on top of the helmet, the Bretonnian shield, lions, and fleur-de-lises, the dagger in the belt. Just wait. We're going to eBay. Found you. Rare Bretonnian Knight complete. 1995 Warhammer Quest game expansion character. US $275. But Ash, that's more than just the miniature. That's the entire Bretonnian Knight character. I know. The fact is, it's going to be really hard to get some of this stuff without having to get a bunch of other stuff along with it if you are just collecting. But one of the points that I wanted to make is if you are in the business of trying to collect heroes for your Warhammer Quest game, as I am, sometimes you will check out eBay and you will see that you have partial sets of these character expansions or other assets that you may be looking for that are missing pieces. They're missing a box or they're missing materials, but they have the figurine and the box. In some cases, you'll find that these listings are missing only the figurine and have everything else. And wouldn't it be great to see that product steeply discounted from the seller because they know they can't sell it for as much because it doesn't come with the figurine, the miniature, and know that you have a brand new miniature to go along with the rest of that pack. That's kind of how my mind works and how I like to try to save some dosh by piecing together some of these things. I once found a Witch Hunter character expansion. It was just all of the materials and the box, but not the miniature. And it was about 80 USD, I think. And then I found the miniature separately, different listing, different seller, just the Witch Hunter, same sculpt and everything, and it was 80 USD. And together, that would have been about 160 USD before accounting for some of the shipping. One of them was from the UK, I think, so it was a little bit more than average. But I found another listing before that, much further back, for that same Witch Hunter character expansion, and it had everything with it, and it was quite a bit higher than the 160 USD. Now, I haven't ended up buying any of those things. I actually made some other choices and bought some different stuff, but the prices go up and they go down, and they really just kind of fluctuate depending on what time of year it is and what other stuff is going on. Here is a knight by himself. This is a Bretonnian knight on foot. You can see the exact same sword, the wings, the silly beast on the helmet, the spot for the shield, the base. This is US $40, and it ends in 3 days and 8 hours. By the time this video goes up, this auction might actually be over because I've got quite a bit of a schedule coming up. I do want to get this video out and show it to you before the chance to buy the made-to-order figure ends, so you'll still get absolutely that chance if you are watching this video. But this is just an example, okay, of the miniature that you would be getting if you're looking for the classic original. $40, and this is an auction. It has no bids. It has $6 shipping for the US, so $46 at the very least for this one miniature. This one is from the United Kingdom, and it actually comes with the shield. The last one did not come with the shield. You would be without a shield if you spent $46 for the last one. This is $39.99 Great British Pounds, approximately $50 USD, and $6 Great British Pounds, approximately $7.61 USD standard shipping. That's not a bad deal. That's still affordable for someone who wants to collect Warhammer miniatures for their Warhammer Quest game and slowly but surely collect all of the components of the character expansions like myself. Nothing to really complain about here, but that's $50 plus $7 if you're in the US. That's $57 for one miniature. And again, that's missing all of the stuff that comes with the contemporary version. We've got one more here that was pre-painted, and you may or may not enjoy the figurine being pre-painted like this, but this one is GBP 54.99, which is approximately $70 USD, and with shipping of about $15. Royal Mail International Tract if you're trying to get this in the US from the UK. This is a bit higher priced than the others and does not seem to come with a shield or a base. The slotted bases are like a dime a dozen. I don't care if anything I buy ever in life comes with a slotted base or not. I never use them anyway, but the shield is something I'd probably be looking for. I'd probably want to represent this character with the shield. And where I would usually say these are exploitative prices or whatever, they're actually quite fair when you compare them to the fact that these are going for upwards of 1.5 to 2 times the prices. This $32 is for both of these miniatures together. You're not even getting just the one, you're getting both of them. And the prices that we looked at on eBay do not account for this second miniature. So really, that $16 is more like 3 times the amount, and that's not even for a complete miniature if you're looking for the classic. So this is, ironically, actually a pretty dang good deal. These aren't the only miniatures that are here that are made to order available on Warhammer's site. We'll take a quick look at all the rest that are available before we end today. Damsels of the Lady, 2 of them, $50 USD. These are based on classic sculpts, are the classic sculpts, I should be saying. I don't have any reason to believe they're like newly cut dies or anything like that making these sculpts. Maybe somebody who is more in the know can correct me though. Doesn't matter. They're identical to the old ones and they're of new material, so they're absolutely stunning and they are beautiful, and to me they're worth it. $15 USD for this Brettonian paladin with sword and shield. I actually really like the look of this one. Again, the helmet, dog on top, looks pretty ridiculous, but you know what? It's fine. It gives us a reason to make fun of Brettonians. This Brettonian paladin with hammer and shield is probably my favorite out of all of the sculpts. We've got a dragon drinking from a goblet up here on his helmet. The color scheme they chose for this is beautiful. I love the idea of a paladin having a hammer and shield because I just love associating the imagery of the shield and the mace or the hammer with the cleric or the paladin or the holy warrior. That's just me. But we're not done yet. We've got the Brettonian Lord with sword and shield on Pegasus, $40 USD for this lovely creature. The Brettonian Battle Standard Bearer on Warhorse. This is a big deal. $32 USD if you need this for your Warhammer Fantasy Battle. This awesome sculpt, I really love this one because of how bulky and compact it is. And the details just look really great too. The Brettonian Lord with Great Weapon on Warhorse, $32 USD. Love all of the dressing on the horse on this one and the armored chainmail tack. The last thing that we have is the Brettonian Lord with Lance on Warhorse, and he also looks pretty amazing. Really, really great. Love how this looks. Love how all these look. If I were a hardcore, if I just had a lot of money, I'd probably sink money into getting a lot of these and using them for my Hero Quest and Warhammer Quest homebrews. I can't justify buying a bunch of them, but I can definitely see the justification in doing so for others, especially Damsels of the Lady. Let's see how rare she is. This is one listing for a Brettonian sorceress, damsel, sword on foot, 1990s, metal. She has 6 bids on her, and she's US $41 right now, $6 shipping. That's what the bids are at now. There's no telling how much farther that will go last minute. Usually last minute bids jump, and I would know because I was recently sniped out of an awesome double pack of Warhammer board games. I wanted Warhammer Silver Tower and Shadowed Over Hammerhall. They were together for about $300 USD. I bid once. I didn't have enough money to bid more, but I should have borrowed because I got sniped and the winning bid was just $5 above what I wanted to pay. So still pretty gutted about that. But it does give me enough spare money to play with and buy some of these minis for the channel and check them out. So I think that we'll end up doing that. What do you think about that? I think we're going to end up doing that, actually. Guys, I just wanted to show you the Warhammer made-to-order stuff. I wanted you to take a look at this, see if it was up your alley, give you some ideas and some thoughts on why it might matter, and give you kind of a space to continue watching and check out just in case they continue this trend of bringing back models and honestly charging pretty fair prices for these out-of-print sculpts. Thank you so much for watching. If you like content like this, I urge you to check out some of the other videos on my channel. I do a lot of Games Workshop related stuff. Not exactly news. No, but we do a lot of Hero Quest content, which used to be Games Workshop. We play the Warlock of Firetop Mountain on Tome Tuesdays. Might as well be Tomb Tuesdays. We homebrew, we unbox, we do all kinds of stuff. Just see if I'm your cup of tea. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day. And now onward, brave heroes.